So here's the deal. You're going to get dozens of objections. Objections are not bad. Objections are a good thing. A lot of times people are like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so many objections. I guess I should just shut down my program and stop selling altogether. Objections are so good. You know what the worst thing is? Total silence, crickets. If you're getting crickets and silence, that's a bad sign. If you're getting objections, people are interested in joining your program. Amazing. Let's start there. Okay. This is a sign that you're doing it right. And so you're going to get tons of objections. In High Ticket Hybrid, we've got literally an entire library of responses that we give people. This is where it comes back to being systematized. Here's the other thing. If you're worried about how much time is this going to take, oh, I can't be in the DMs all day. Look, us either. We've got a business to run, right? Like I said, our values are about spending 80% of our time in delivery and servicing clients and 20% on sales, right? If you looked at our org chart, 80% of our team is on the client delivery side, and then there's Cami. And so we are all about that. And so part of that system is never repeating yourself and typing out the same response twice. You're going to have a whole copy paste script library that you customize, you can build up over time for yourself. We're going to talk about that more tomorrow as well. Okay, let's keep going. Objections are opportunities, okay? They're not something to shy away from. They are literally opportunities. Objections are not a sign that you did something wrong or that your program is bad or that it's not worth it. If people are sharing what's on their mind and they're asking questions, that is a good thing, okay? And the other thing I want to point out that's super important is you are going to get objections at any price point. You will get the same objections at a $200 course as with a $20,000 program. Trust me, it's more worth it to sell the $20,000 program if you're going to have to overcome the exact same objections, right? Like you are going to get the same price objections no matter what you charge. So we're just going to lean into it. You just got to get better at it. Okay. And objections are just questions, right? It means the potential client actually cares enough to even respond and talk to you. That is an opportunity. That's amazing. It's a jumping off place for the conversation. There's always going to be objections, and they can all be addressed. They can all be overcome. They can all be discussed. Okay. So you can get good at this. Here's how we like to approach any objection is with neutral curiosity, right? So when someone tells us something, we just have a neutral curiosity. This is, again, we always come back to just genuinely, we just want to know what people are up to, what they're doing. So we say things like, I wonder why they're asking that, or I wonder why they think that, or I wonder why they're making that assumption. Let's ask some more questions, right? Cammy's just all day, every day, just asking a million questions to get clarity and to bring awareness to the conversation. Okay. So it's just like, they think that this isn't going to work with them. I work for them. I wonder why. I wonder what they've already been through, or I wonder what happened in the past that's their belief right now. Let's dig into it a little bit more. The other thing is that the real objection might not always be the objection that they're telling you. And so sometimes the objection isn't really the objection. The objection is underneath there. So something like now isn't the right time could actually be more of like a financial objection or money thing or lack of confidence or something else. And so we always want to just, again, ask genuine curiosity questions to learn more. So the other cool tip that I want to give you about social selling is that every single response that you share, which is going to be customized, it's going to be, custom to your audience, your program. It's not just like copy and pasting scripts that with no, change or relevance. But one of the things I want you to think about is reinforcing every one of your responses with a personal story and then social proof. So every time you're responding to a question or an objection, whatever you want to call it, it can be accompanied by a personal story when you yourself had a similar experience. Could either be your own personal story or a story of one of your clients. So if someone's like, yeah, but I've already done XYZ. It's like, me too. Like I've been through there. Let me tell you a personal story about that. And then you can also share a relevant testimonial, a screenshot, a client win, something that's specific to their situation and relevant to them. Okay, so here's the other thing. This is where I see a bunch of people making bad mistakes in responding to objections. Sometimes seemingly simple questions or objections can actually be an opportunity for a really nuanced and strategic response. So if I look at people's DMs, I'm often like, oh my gosh, like that's how you've been responding to that? Oh no. like that's an opportunity for what to sprinkle in what Cami and I call sales flair. And so sales flair can be sprinkled into any communication. It can go into your DMs, it can go into your, talks, it can go into your messages, your emails. Sales flair is everywhere. It's like a little fairy dust that you sprinkle on stuff. So when people ask you, well, what time are the coaching calls? And if your response right now to that is, yeah, they're 2 p.m. on Fridays and that's it, you just put a period and that's how you respond, you're doing it wrong. And this goes for like every single type of question or objection. Seemingly simple answer actually has an opportunity to have like a full-on response with sales flair, fairy dust sprinkled on it. So this is a more nuanced question. The question is really, well, what time are the calls? And if I can't make that time, then I'm not going to be able to come to the calls. And if I can't come to the calls, I'm not going to join the program. And that makes it not worth it for me. So I guess I just can't join. That's the actual question. And so in this response, and we have a whole one of these in the response library, is you're going to have to explain in your response that everyone can pre-submit questions. Pre-submitted questions are guaranteed to be answered on the live calls. The live calls are always recorded and then uploaded within a day so that you'll be able to get your question answered immediately. And that the calls are all timestamped and you'll be tagged in the Facebook group after the call so that you know exactly when your question was answered and you can skip to that timestamp. And also, if you don't get your question answered on the calls, there's other one-on-one touch points where you can connect with people. So even if you can't come to the calls, that's totally fine. Like, do you see the difference between they're at 2 p.m. on Friday, I hope you can come, versus like, here's what we've done and built so that it doesn't matter what time the calls are at, regardless of if you can come or not. Okay, that's just one example, but sales flair is everywhere.
That's like answering the question underneath the question. And then you could even, like, I might even go one step deeper and like go grab a testimonial from somebody in a totally different time zone to us, being like, I've never been able to come to any of the calls live and I still get so much value week after week. They're amazing. Like, if you want to go that next step, grab the testimonial, grab the social proof.
Love that. And a lot of people are saying, can I do this in email? Yes, this is the same principle. I don't really care what platform you talk to people on. It can be email, it can be Voxer, it can be WhatsApp, it can be SMS text, and you can always record voice memos and link to them and send that. Like, you can always record a voice message. There's a couple different apps that let you do that, and then send it to people in an email so that they still get the experience of the voice message. Send it to them in a text, okay? So this applies to email, applies to text, it applies to anything. I don't actually care what platform you're on. Regardless, this is still the principles.